Oh, so I just kind of want to be frank and real with you guys for just just a little bit of time. I get a lot of messages on the channel from really respectful people, people that really care about getting good quality, clean information, right? And then you get the few people that come to the channel and they're just like complete asshats about things. They're just completely disrespectful. They act like they know everything in the entire world. And the thing that boggles my mind is when they show up to the channel, they already have an answer for everything, which leads me to think, if you had the answer for everything, why would you be looking around for this particular topic anyway? And if somebody did have an answer or a fix for something, why wouldn't you respect them enough to put that information out to other people? Because you're not doing it. You don't have a channel that you're putting out content and stuff on. So people show up here, they trash talk and stuff like that. And it's concerning because we're all supposed to be men, right? We're all supposed to act like men. But people show up and they want to critique and rip apart. And I look and click on their channel or whatever, click on their icon and look their name up, and they're offering nothing, and they're doing nothing, and they're just a motor mouth. And a lot of times it leads me to kind of stray out of character, and I say something snarky and ignorant back. I mean, I'm human. I work from 8 o'clock in the morning till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. I really don't have time to be arguing with grown ass men. They can't conduct themselves properly, but that's beside the point. Somebody left me a comment recently on the auto start stop video that I did and how it was a bad idea. And I had referenced the fact that I could have charged the customer because the customer disabled the system themselves when it's not a system that's meant to be disabled the way that they did. But it caused some malfunctions in multiple areas, and not realizing that the auto start stop was unplugged at the ABS module or the connector that controls some of that, I had to go chasing other things. You don't expect to go in the vehicle and start looking for things that customers have unplugged on a brand new vehicle. And I ended up chasing it back to the problem to find out that the customer had disabled something that was annoying to them, but at the same time it ate up all my time trying to figure it out. And somebody had left a comment to me saying something to the extent of, you had prefaced in your video that you could have charged for that, as if I was trying to brag about that. Well, I could have charged for that. That's the fact of the matter. When a vehicle is under warranty and you do something, you modify it, you change something that's not warranty, and it affects something else, and a technician has to take their time, which obviously this person may not think that we need to be paid for, and put into that vehicle to figure out what's going on, only to find out it's something that you did, regardless of how annoying that is. Do I just show up to work to clock in and just fix problems for people without getting paid for it? I mean, I guess that's the whole idea, right? We don't want to collect a paycheck, and then if you spend 2.5 hours in a vehicle to find out that there's actually nothing wrong with it, it's just something that a customer unplugged, and then you have to go into the computer, which they even referenced the port for the connection, the OBD dongle is right by the module anyway. It doesn't take that much time to hook up a computer. Obviously you don't work on Fords, and obviously you're not a manufacturer or a manufacturer specific technician, because a lot of the times we have issues with our computers. We try to hook up and communicate. A lot of times it'll communicate and then you'll go through, the computer will die, because these are computers that are 5, 6, 7 years old. And then you have to start everything back up, or you're trying to get in through the manufacturer's data link, and a lot of it is internet based as well, and you can't get through. And then you go in to clear the codes out of the computer, especially these newer vehicles that have all these modules and stuff on it. You might clear some of the codes that are present, but you're not going to clear them all. And then sometimes you have to go through and reset multiple modules to get some of these codes to clear because of one stupid issue that somebody created themselves. So it's not as simple as just hooking up a computer and just hitting a button to clear the codes. It doesn't work that way. This is not some AutoZone $50 handheld scanner that you just hit erase and then it just magically erases everything, because on a lot of these newer vehicles that doesn't work either. There's certain criteria that has to be met to clear certain codes and stuff out. Some codes will stay active longer on a lot of the 2020 and above, because now we're up to 2021. We're seeing at the dealership now, you can't just clear codes to get rid of them. There's a number of things that have to be done. I mean, the last I checked, we all show up to work to make a paycheck. And if I write that ticket up and say to Ford, verified customer concern, check engine lights on, body or collision avoidance lights on, verified passenger side door handle one touch operation does not operate, spent 2 hours chasing down wiring issues, pulled door panel off, pulled bottom of dash cover off, found myself over at trailer brake module, found single connector unplugged, customer unplugged connector that was causing the problem, plugged connector back in, cleared codes 3 times, test drove vehicle, no problems, currently active, operating as designed. Ford, you pay me for that customer's issue now. It doesn't work that way. You know, you sweep that time under the rug. You realize you just got burned by silliness. Or you lie and you fabricate some kind of problem that was wrong with that vehicle in order for you to get paid because you feel bad for the customer, or you don't want to charge the customer, or you're worried about getting yelled at by the customer via the service writer because of something that they did and they didn't realize it, and then you're having to hear about it. I mean, some of you guys don't realize the stuff that we go through as dealer techs. It's not just as simple as hooking up a computer and clearing the codes. I mean, some of you need to wake up and get a taste of what reality is. A lot of the customers come into the dealership, and because other dealers screwed up, they already come in with a bad attitude and expect us to fix somebody else's problem. And then we're the one getting pressured while we got 6 jobs deep stacked on top of our box, and they're demanding stuff get out now, and then you run into other problems while you're on those jobs. We don't get paid for a lot of that time. You know, if I tell you it's going to be 4 hours to fix your vehicle, and I find something in between, or maybe I do something wrong in between and accidentally break something, that money comes out of my pocket or the dealership's pocket, depending on where you work. That's time that I have to eat to fix this issue. Today, a customer came in with a 2005 Ford Focus. Lower control arm literally snapped in two from how old and rusty it is. CV axle went with it. Sway bar link and stuff went with it. Now, I guarantee you that there's probably going to be an hour to an hour and a half, if not more, of me heating up these rusty bolts and stuff like that to get them out of the body of this, or the subframe of this vehicle. I'm not going to get paid for that. That's not a added criteria on all data that they go by on the older vehicles that you get paid off of. They want book time. So to replace both lower control arms on the front of that vehicle, it's 1.7 hours. It's going to take me every bit of 2.5 to 3 hours to replace those lower control arms alone. I don't get paid for that extra time. So I think people need to start waking up and wising up to a lot of the stuff that we go through. It's not as clean cut and dry as, oh, just hook the computer up and clear the codes. It doesn't work that way. And some of you that come here, and a lot of you don't realize what I do when I put out my time. I had 2 different people message me today multiple times to go back into the computer and look things up for them and send them the information, because they either don't have the money to go to the Ford dealership, they don't trust going to the Ford dealership, or they really trust me for advice. They're just, you know, they may be on hard times and they just want to fix it themselves. Whatever the reason may be, it may be another dealer that's contacting me via my YouTube channel that is, you know, down south somewhere where a lot of their techs haven't seen these problems, and then all of a sudden it comes in and they want a little insight on it. Okay, no problem. Call me up. We'll talk. It's free. I'm not going to charge you anything. Eventually, if you're in my area, I want your business. Come in. That's how this works, right? But some of you come here with this expectation that the person that's in front of that camera is supposed to be, first of all, a perfect person, which is not going to happen. I have my flaws as well, and I could really give a shit less about appeasing somebody else's feelings. I do this for free. I don't get paid for this. YouTube doesn't pay me for this. Second of all, we go through a lot of shit, man. I mean, I cut my finger open from one side all the way to the other at the beginning of the year. I mean, literally, this finger was split in 2, and the doctors basically put everything back together. It wasn't all the way through the bone. We're breathing these chemicals and stuff every day, the dust and stuff that's in the shop every single day, the noise, the shit we get in our eyes and stuff all the time, being on this concrete all day, every day. And these guys, by the time they're 45 and 50 years old, look like they're 80 years old because they can't walk straight from working this career their whole life. How much more do you want a mechanic to give? How much more do you want us to just turn around and just give you, because it's so easy to just hook up a computer and clear some codes? A lot of you don't realize the stress that people at the dealership actually have to go through. The customers that come in with bad days and stuff like that just start chewing the service writers' asses out and just dumping everything on them. And they're supposed to take it because it's part of customer service. You know, I have a service writer, his mom's deathly sick. She's sick all the time in the hospital, all the time. He's always worried about that, but he still has to put a smile on his face, and he still has to do his job, right? So realize there are other people out there other than you. Me, I'm out in the shop. You know, I'll start one vehicle, maybe I'll start a second vehicle, and then all the techs, we're all working, we're all busy. Service writer comes out, I need you to get off of that, and I need you to do this right now. Well, I gotta go do that, go program this key and do all this. And I go try to get back on my job so I can continue making time. Well, I need you to go do this now. I'm sorry, it's important. It's very, very important. Go do this. And then you forget that you quit running time on another job. You go back, you finish that job, and now you have to go back, rerun your time and stuff like that. I mean, you don't get paid. You don't get paid for all this stuff. It's part of the job. I get it. But you guys got to realize what we go through as well. It's a lot of stupid stuff. Parts gives you the wrong parts or something like that because they're so stressed, because they're being bombarded with customers coming in that just are constantly taking up their time. You know, a lot of people calling up on the phone for the most stupid things ever, and they deal with it. They don't complain about it. They just deal with it. Yeah, I got a 2000 F250, and there's some fluid coming out of the back of the motor, and I went to one dealer, and this is what they told me, and I went to another dealer, and this is what they told me, and well, I just think maybe they were both wrong, and this is the actual issue, and I was just wondering what do you think? And well, sir, I'm the parts department. I've been sitting here listening to you for 15 minutes, but I don't know what to tell you. This is the parts department. Oh, I just thought because you look at the parts and stuff like that, you can tell me what you. No, you have to talk to the service department. Okay, yeah, sure. Can you push me through to the service department? Hey, service department, I have a 2000 so and so, and it's been to 3 different shops, and they said it's the rear end, and I'm not sure exactly what they were talking about. And then they said fluid was coming out of the motor, and you're like, sir, I mean, you're gonna have to schedule an appointment and get it in here. I can only tell you so much over the phone. You're talking about 4 or 5 different things going on. I don't have a technician free that can come to the phone right now, and then based on what you're telling me right now, I really don't think the guy's going to be able to help you. If you can get the vehicle in, that would be great. I mean, this stuff happens all the time, and people just want to hold you up on the phone, hold you up on the phone, hold you up on the phone. Then you got 4 customers waiting to check out and buy parts and everything else. Then you got technicians coming in, 3, 4 technicians standing in front of you. They're dropping tickets and then leaving. Then the first guy that dropped ticket came back to figure out what's going on. Why is it taking so long? I mean, this is, I'm not really complaining about it. I'm letting you guys know the dealership environment. And then people think it needs to be done that quick. It doesn't happen. And if guys quit, if computers are down and stuff like that, sometimes I'll work on programming a key for almost 2 hours because the Ford system just doesn't want to work. You know what that pays? A half an hour. And I work on it for 2 hours to get the key programmed, and then finally it'll program. Or you get somebody that drops a vehicle off at the dealership and they lost both keys while they were out drunk, and they have the car towed to the dealer. And then you got to go through the security process, which is like a freaking circus show, just to get the vehicle to realize that you're trying to do something to program the keys, and then it doesn't even go through all the time. I mean, there's a lot of stuff as technicians that we deal with, a lot of stuff we don't get paid for. For people to pop up on the channel and be like, I don't like the way you explain that. Well, then maybe you should make your own channel and explain it. Maybe you didn't see the other 10,000 comments under yours where people are saying, hey dude, thanks for everything, man, you saved me a ton of money. Hey, thanks for helping me on that 2011 to 2015 Ford F-150 where the body control module connector comes undone. the little locking pin snaps and then the vehicle doesn't start. I was out in the middle of a field in Texas and I couldn't start my truck, and then all of a sudden I went on YouTube and I seen your video and I plugged that connector back in and I was able to start my truck up and get out of there, man. Thank you for everything, dude. You saved me. Or some mom that, she's single. Hey, thank you for helping me with that problem. I was able to fix that by myself. I just really appreciate it. Maybe I could send you a couple $100 because it's going to be over 1,000 for me to fix it at the dealership. No, that's fine. Just subscribe to the channel. Communicate with me. Let's talk about things in life and stuff like that. And these are every single day things like this happen. So I just don't get how people could just come here and try to be inconsiderate and stuff like that and not care about anybody else but themselves. Just to be assholes about things. Or just say, well, in that video you specified because the customer modified it that you could charge some money. Yeah, I could have, but I didn't. I'm just letting you know, if a dealership wanted to be straight honest with Ford, well, this customer modified something or removed something that was supposed to be plugged in and it wasn't malfunctioning, and that's what caused these other issues that were going on. Ford's going to be like, we're not paying for that. The customer's got to pay for all of that. But just because I mentioned the fact that I could do that doesn't mean that I did do that. I probably lose 10, 15 hours a week on doing stuff for other people. Going out to people's cars and looking at their tires and resetting their radio and hooking their phone up or clearing their Bluetooth cache out. Stuff all the time, just going the extra mile. Somebody hey, can you show me how to work my front camera? I don't know how to do any of that. Yes, I can. I can do that right now. Hey, could you go for a ride with me? I feel like when I put it in 4-wheel drive, something's clicking. Yes, I can. I can go with you right now. You get paid for that stuff. I had one lady come pick me up like 2 months ago, and she said, I'm getting this real bad wind noise and this slight vibration at the base of the windshield. Well, I take the car out. I do the speed limit. I can't duplicate what she's talking about. Call the customer back up. So I can't duplicate this, ma'am. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, yeah, you gotta get on a highway. You gotta go like 85, 90 mile an hour. What? 85, 90 mile an hour? How long do you drive 85? Well, I leave my house in Wheaton, Illinois, and I'm in Chicago, so about 50 minutes I try to just drive. Are you kidding me? 85, 90 mile an hour the whole way there? I mean, wow. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be able to duplicate that problem because I'm not breaking the speed limit in your car and then getting a ticket for it. So if you want to come duplicate that problem, I'm fine with that. But I'm not going to do it. So she comes picks me up at the dealership, right? And she takes me on this 25-minute drive to duplicate the problem. And by the time all this stuff is said and done, I figure out exactly what's going on. There's a recall on, not a recall, but a TSB. I think it's on the Escape. No, it's not. It's on the Explorer. The cowl for the windshield washer area and stuff. There's a replacement snap-in piece that you got to update because of that noise. They pay 1.4 hours to do it. I had 5 hours tied up in this vehicle trying to duplicate this problem. The customer taking me, pulling over on the side of the road, pulling off at the exit, waiting here. Let's do this. No, that's not right. It's not making the noise now. And you don't get paid for that stuff, man. Like, people need to wake up and realize how much dealer mechanics lose. People are like, oh, you guys are screwing me. You think I'm screwing you? You know how much time I had to put in that vehicle to get the thing fixed? Now, I agree that in some situations, it is what it is, you know. You make out like a bandit. I had a guy come in yesterday, and he says, I need you to, what I'd like for you to change my headlight in my 2019 F-150. And I says, okay. He pulls it in. I had never done a 19 F-150 before. It's the top headlight. It was a 5-liter. Ford wants you to pull the fender liner back and then reach up inside the wheel well and get up into the light that way. I was like, bro, I'm not about to do that. And the shop minimum is a half-hour charge. I'm not pulling that fender liner and stuff out just to get to a headlight. So I took the 113 millimeter bolt out of the airbox that goes into the fender area, the fender apron. And then I just took the whole airbox and slid it back. I stuck my hand down there, I unsnapped the light bulb, took it out, grabbed a new one, plugged it in, put the light bulb back in, snapped, pulled the air box back over, put the 13 mil bolt out. Literally took me like 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and I was done. The shop minimum is a half hour. You don't get paid less than that on something like that. The book time for replacing that light is a half hour. I did it in 9 minutes. I found a better way that was faster. That doesn't mean I don't get paid less than a half hour. I still get paid a half hour. I've just found a way to do it more efficient, less work, and a better way. I still get paid a half hour to do it. You know, Ford calls for rebuilding those EcoBoost 1.5 liter EcoBoost engines with a new short block, 19.5 hours, or 21 hours actually. Guys are getting those done in 16, 17 hours. If that was a customer paid job, you still get paid 21.5 hours. So what your idea of what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. It's not necessarily the next person or how the system actually works. You got to realize that stuff. So at what point do we start to agree to disagree or come to terms with each other? You know, there's a book time for a reason, and how they decipher what that book time is they have techs come in and they do a job and they monitor them, they track them, and they come up with an average on what it takes to do that job, and that's what the standard book time is. Now, you may have one guy that comes in and he's super fast, high speed, faster, better, more understanding than all of them, and he gets it done way faster. There's still an average time that tech gets paid, even though he did it faster. It doesn't matter. It's only fair. So I think some people need to wake up and realize that they're not the only ones in this world. We have to eat too. And when I tell you because something's under warranty, be careful. Don't modify it, and be very, very cautious about unplugging and doing things just because you think that it's okay to do because somebody put out a YouTube video and said, oh yeah, unplug this connector on your ABS module, will cause no problems at all. And then all of a sudden you come to a tech like me that's honest and legit about things. It's letting you know what's going on with 100% disclosure and honesty. I could charge the customer for that because of listening to some other idiot on YouTube tell them that this is okay to do, and it's not, because it caused other issues with the vehicle that they weren't aware of. This video is a little long-winded, but you know, I just wanted to be just open and honest about things, guys. It is what it is. You know, if you come to this channel and you think that you're going to be some kind of punk or even comment on this video and run your mouth, it's just as simple to block you as it is for me to say something back. You know, don't come here and be a jagoff about things just because you can. I do this stuff because I care about people, and I help thousands of people all over the world. I mean, I have some of the top rated, top viewed videos in the entire world on this channel and my other channel. My other channel has 5,000 subs. I created this channel so I could specifically dictate, or not dictate, but specifically pinpoint the Ford vehicle. I do other vehicles sometimes, but mainly Ford on this channel, so I can give people what they're asking for. They wanted their own individual Ford channel because that's what I specialize in. And now I'm here doing it, and it just seems like these idiots come out of nowhere and they have an opinion about everything, and it's like, dude, I ain't got time to listen to your shit, man. Seriously, I got a life too. And I have to eat too. So I'm not going to do stuff for free. I'm not going to do stuff just because of the good old boy system. No, I get paid for my work. I'm a professional. You know, I'm a master tech. I have 440 certifications in multiple different fields, from Navistar to Ford to industrial refrigeration, automotive refrigeration. It doesn't stop. You know, auto body, collision repair, all this frame structure redesign, and there's just a number of things that I have certifications in. I'm valuable to somebody, you know, and that's why I get paid what I do where I'm at now. They pay me very well. I'm not just going to walk around doing stuff for free because somebody thinks that it should be done for free. There's a system. There's a right way and a wrong way to do things, and there's the honest way and the dishonest way to do things. So a little long-winded, but I'm going to title this video Mechanics Have to Eat Too. Love y'all. Be blessed.